So today I'm going to give you guys a quick afternoon show. I wanted to discuss what has been going on with Lil Nas X and BET. Also give you guys a quick unpopular opinion like I have been doing lately. And so let's go ahead and get into the show. I am going to go ahead and play a quick 5-minute timer for you. Shout out to Dr. Bombay. Make sure you guys check him out. And I'm going to play that timer. So I hope all the loungers are doing as great as me today. Shout out to all of you for tuning in. I truly appreciate you guys, all of you who are in the clouds, and those of you who will catch the replay. Shout out to Dr. Bombay for being in the building. I truly appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to TMK Media for all of your music needs and everything else. And you said 15 intros later. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this conversation. I did want to talk about Lil Nas X today versus BET and whether or not I feel that this is actually discrimination. And I also wanted to give you guys a quick unpopular opinion that I just looked at. So let's go ahead and look into the unpopular opinion first, and then we'll go ahead and get into Nas X, okay? So I did get this unpopular opinion again from Reddit. As you guys know, I do go to Reddit and do unpopular opinions for Shout Into the Void as well as for Black Lounge Divine. So Star Wars needs a 10 to 20-year break, okay? And this is what somebody has been saying on Reddit in regards to Star Wars. And I actually agree with this unpopular opinion. It says Disney has shown time again they don't really know what to do with one of the world's biggest IPs. They are going to keep releasing content every year for the rest of our lives until we know every single minute of the Skywalker saga timeline. Their product, with a couple exceptions, has been overall subpar and are actually retroactively making the OT worse. They need a timeout for a while. And you know what? I actually agree. Okay. I'm kind of tired of seeing this and kind of getting the regurgitated stories back and forth of the original, trilogy characters and so forth and so on. I mean, for those of y'all who have been Star Wars characters, I mean, have been Star Wars fans, I'm not a terrible Star Wars fan. I do enjoy the older Star Wars movies, like the ones when I first saw them back in the 80s and stuff like that. The Luke Skywalker years, the Yoda years, all that stuff. But all this stuff going on now, it's just like, how many times can you remake a story? How many times could you keep telling a story? So I totally agree with that unpopular opinion. Y'all let me know in the comments what you guys think. Now, this video is not going to be long. I just wanted to talk about Lil Nas X real quick and go over the article that's in BuzzFeed currently. And shout out to BuzzFeed for this article. But I did take a look at it because I just wondered what you guys would definitely think about this. Okay. So Lil Nas X was, and I'm just going to read this from the article by Stephanie Soterio over at BuzzFeed. It says Lil Nas, and I do have a link to this in my description box already. So it says Lil Nas X just called out quote unquote homophobia in the Black community after his BET Awards snub and said, quote unquote, queer men are more respected when they do less feminine things. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go on with the article. He said, how can I acknowledge by the most acclaimed award show in the world? How can I get acknowledged by the most acclaimed award show in the world and then not even just one nomination from my own quote unquote people? He says, it's fair to say that the past 12 months have been pretty good for Lil Nas X. And I'm just quoting from the article. The 23-year-old rapper released his critically acclaimed art album, Montero, in September, as well as two #1 singles, Montero, Call Me by Your Name, and Industry Baby, which featured Jack Harlow. Okay. And then it says, in fact, he has been so successful that he dominated 2022's awards circuit after being nominated for 5 Grammys, 2 Brits, and 5 Billboard Music Awards, just to name a few. Industry Baby ended up taking home the Billboard Award for Top Rap Song. And while Lil Nas X didn't win a Grammy this year, he secured 2 in 2020 for his Old Town Road remix. So, or his Old Town Road song. So it's no surprise that Lil Nas X was a bit butthurt, quote unquote, when he was snubbed by the BET Awards as its nominations were announced last week. Okay. The annual ceremony was established by Black Entertainment Television Network in 2001 and is highly respected by many celebrities and successful Black people in the industry and various actors, sports, and other fields of entertainment in the past year. So, in the past few years. So, Little Nas X first reacted, quote unquote, to the snub when BET initially shared this year's list of nominees, tweeting at the same time, "Thank you, BET Awards, and outstanding zero nominations again. Black excellence." Okay. Then he went on to say, then someone asked him in that tweet, someone had asked him what he put out in the past year to warrant a nomination. And Little Nas dryly replied, "I don't know, maybe three of the biggest songs of last year and a critically acclaimed album. I feel like that should have helped me a bit." Okay. And then another person claimed that his releases didn't come under the hip hop genre, but Little Nas X pointed out that BET also has a pop category. "Doesn't even have to be me nominated," he added. "I just feel like Black gay people have to fight to be seen in the world, and even when we make it to the top, MFers try to pretend that we are invisible." Then he goes on to say, well, actually, he later deleted those texts, but on Tuesday, he returned to social media to double down this stance. Okay. And I'm pulling down a little bit on the article to show you guys what he said. Shared a video of himself lip syncing to the preview of his upcoming single late to the party," which begins with Little Nas X repeating FBET. "This is not over a BET award. This is about a bigger problem of homophobia in the Black community. Y'all can sit and pretend all you want, but I'ma risk it all for us," he later tweeted. And then he said, yeah, that's what he said. And he said that on June 7th. And then he said he took the time to respond to some of the critics with some questioning while he was taking the snub so personally. Because a lot of people were giving him pushback on that and wondering why he was taking it so personal. One person actually said, "You got a whole Grammy. Why are you acting like this?" But the star argued that this was only proving his point. And this is my point exactly. How can I get acknowledged by most acclaimed award shows in the world, and then not even just one nomination from my own people?" He tweeted. "Is that not crazy? Am I really tripping?" And then he went on and continued on with some other things. Another person said, "You got it twisted. The BET Awards is most acclaimed, not the Grammys. You should have dropped Scoop if you wanted a BET award. Talk to your team." And then he said, "Talk to my team about what?" Little Nas asked. He said, "Industry Baby is the second longest running #1 song on the Billboard rap charts of all time and didn't get a single nomination." And then somebody else argued that the Black LGBT community artists had been nominated, including Tyler, the Great Creator, and Frank Ocean. And they said, love Frank and Tyler to death, but can we admit queer men are more respected when they do less feminine things? Or am I making this up?" Little Nas tweeted in response. And he also hit back when one person replied, "You're not making it up, but when will gay men understand they can be gay without making it their whole personality? Now you act like a female rather than you just liking men, and that's where people are put off." Little Nas S said, "Gay men should continue making being gay their whole personality as long as they are still being jailed and freaking killed in countries for it." And I actually agree with some of the things he was saying on this, but I do disagree with some things he said too. Now, he also says that the article goes on to say that, and he definitely had no time for a person who said that he may not have been nominated because his music sucks. Okay, so he said, "Okay, cool, I suck. My music is terrible. Bad Nas," he said. "Now answer my question: Are queer men more respected when they do less feminine things? Yes or no?" So I took a moment to think about that, okay, and just see whether or not that's actually true, okay? Because the first response I wanted to have was, well, Black men in general tend to be, or just men, and particularly black men in general, especially of late, tend to be um, attacked for being men. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for instance, i.e., the Will Smith situation. Now, I'm not saying that he was right or anything like that. I'm just saying that as a black man, they made that a major big deal. You understand what I'm saying? That he would be so overly aggressive and so this and so that. So I think there's a fine line in between the both, because I had to think about that. Like, is Nas X actually telling the truth about that? I never actually paid attention to it, okay? But it could possibly be that this may, like, he may have some merit with this, as far as the, the part about, are queer men expected to be less feminine and they get more respect that way. Um, like I said, I think there's a fine line there, because there were some gay men who were nominated. Okay, so we can't say that it was because he was gay. Um, and then there are men who are definitely accepted, especially and particularly lately in the black community, wearing dresses and so forth and so on, such as the guy that plays on Atlanta. There's another guy who's been running around here. I think it was Kid Curry running around here with a dress and different things like that. And many of men have been doing that. Um, Dwayne Wade and Gabriella Union's son has been, out in the open as a young gay black boy. So I don't know if what he's saying is 100% true. I do think that more people are becoming more accepted of the LGBT community, especially as time goes on and as, certain generations are dying off and newer generations are coming in. I think there's a lot more acceptance. Now, had he had said this 10 years ago, I probably would have completely fell behind him and said, yeah, this is probably true. But now I don't know. I think he was just a little bit sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly think that he was a little sensitive. I had to agree with one of the people that said, maybe your music just sucks, sir. You understand what I'm saying? I like the Old Town Road song, and I kind of like the Industry Baby song, but I don't really like Little Nas X's music like that. I don't know about y'all, but I don't. Okay. And then on top of that, I must say that I do believe that there is a particular agenda in Hollywood that tries to push a certain look for black men, okay? And to continue with that. And the reasoning behind that, and the reasoning behind teaching certain things and putting this in front of children, is to manipulate children into certain ways of thinking. Okay, I'm not saying that there's nobody in the world that's going to be gay or anything like that, or that you can be influenced into this or anything. I'm just saying that I do feel that there is an agenda, okay? And that they want to put sex and gay sex right in the faces of children and even adults. And everybody doesn't have to see that. You could be gay and be feminine and everything, and that doesn't mean you have to be fucking somebody on the stage. You understand what I'm trying to say? You don't have to be like with your tongue down somebody's throat on the stage. If a male and a female, if that's not acceptable for that, why does that have to be accepted even in the gay community? You understand what I'm saying? Even in the LGBT community. I don't understand why it is so important that everybody must know that you are gay, or everybody must know who you're sleeping with and what your sexuality is. I don't know why that's such a big deal. Maybe I'm missing something there. But even in speaking with my daughter and in speaking with other people, they even don't feel like it's that necessary that everybody must know that that about their sex life. It's not that serious. You understand what I'm saying? So I do wonder what the agenda is and what the machine is behind him, and how BET may have in fact picked up on that and they didn't nominate him. Or it just could have been that they don't like his music. You understand what I'm saying? But I honestly do think it's something to think about. I think it's double sided. I do think that there is a sense of homophobia in a sense, but I also think that I don't think it's so much homophobia. I'm gonna take that word back. I'm not going to say homophobia. I think that it's caution, and I think that BET is aware of the agenda that's being pushed. And the particular award shows that are that Little Nas X got all these awards over, okay, were literally the ones that are parading this around in the world. Okay. They want everybody to see this black man and who he's sleeping with and the kissing and all this all this stuff all in front of everybody, like just putting it in your face, putting it on, TV and in front of your children and everything else, like it's not a big deal. And it is. It really is. And I'm not saying it's wrong for somebody to be gay. I'm just saying, why does the sexuality have to be in everybody's face? Why is that necessary? Why is it necessary for my child or for me to see you sucking somebody's tongue out of their mouth? That's not necessary for me to know that you're gay. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna need Little Nas X to just be comfortable with who he is. I'm gonna need Little Nas X to be comfortable in his own skin and stop trying to force everybody else to accept him, because we don't have to. Nobody has to accept it. You understand what I'm saying? They have to respect it, but not accept it. There's a difference. And when it comes to him, he just has this tendency to feel like he can bully people into doing what he wants to do. And now I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen with BET now. Are they going to be bullied now into nominating him or giving him some kind of award next time just so they don't have to go under fire like that? And that is a problem. That's a problem, because I really feel like if you're going to get if you're actually going to get an award, if you're actually going to get a nomination, it should just be because of your music. It should be because of the artist, like the creativity of the artist. And I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. I'm pretty sure that's what happened in this situation. And now they feel like because he made and raised enough hell and screamed enough, which some folks within that demographic feel. They feel if you yell and scream and holler long enough and you march and you beg for and you talk about, this victimizing and this victimhood enough, that everybody will be bullied into just doing whatever you say. And that's not right. That's not okay. This is not, to me, discrimination. I don't think BET was discriminating against Little Nas X. Do I think that BET doesn't always, yes, I think that there's a lot of things that BET can clean up. Absolutely. Especially once they sold BET to a white corporation. Okay. Yes, I do think that there's a lot of things that they can clean up. But I absolutely cannot agree that BET was discriminating against this man over this BET award. I just think his music sucks and he needs to do better. I mean, I think that's just my opinion. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And I am going to end the show. I do have some things I have to do today. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace, guys.
Let's make a home. We make a home. I don't want to go everywhere. I don't want to go everywhere. Let's make a home. We make a home. I don't want to go everywhere with me. Dollar maker, dollar maker. Dollar maker, dollar